So we'll start cross-legged, and I'll suggest sitting on a folded blanket just to elevate the pelvis a little bit. And then I'll be a little bit specific here. Let's have the right shin in the front to start, and I'll mirror you guys. And have the legs crossed right in the middle of the shins. There's another version of this where you would cross more at the ankles and it makes more of this shape. But let's do the shin crossed here. And then if you have blocks, have them handy, but we won't get to them quite yet. All right. And then the name of this is called Sukhasana, which translates to easy pose. Some folks it's easy, some folks it's not, but here we are. Let's take the hands on the top of the pelvis and just give yourself a little bit of a tip forward and back, just a little tilt. Okay. And at the very bottom of the pelvis, you have the ischial tuberosities, also known as the sitting bones. And see if you can feel that little spot, little bony protrusion. And the next time, you're just at the very end of that spot. Pause there. And then use your hands, give a little pressure down on the top of the pelvis, and can you lengthen long through the side body? And I'll be specific about that. Can you lift the rib cage off the pelvis? And as you do so, lift the side ribs and the back ribs as much as the front ribs. Yeah. Can you keep the space and let the arms go? You can let the eyes close if that feels okay. And just take a few easy breaths. And notice how you move when you breathe. Where do you feel your breath? You might feel it in multiple places. Whenever you're touching either the blanket or the floor, whatever's touching down, just give that a little extra boost, a little extra press down, and see if, as a result, you grow a little taller, a little longer. Allow the head to bow down. We'll blink the eyes open. And let's keep this rooting down idea as the arms come up, and just really go for it. Pretend there's something up there on the top shelf that you're just reaching for. Yeah. And then keep the reach, keep the length, but right at the inner part of the shoulder, kind of right around the neck. Can you relax that a little bit without pushing down? Yeah, so we still reach up. A little release down right in there. Yes, excellent. And then from here, let's take a breath in. On the exhale, go over to the right side for a little side bend. Right hand can come to the floor and the left arm can come overhead. And we'll add in a little rotation here. On the inhale, turn the chest open towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, turn a little bit towards the floor. And do that a few times. You can experiment with the top arm. So you might take a round with a straight arm and a round with a bent elbow. You can try angling a little bit more. Yeah. So go ahead and let the whole upper body rotate towards the ceiling on the inhale and towards the floor on the exhale, just opening a little through the left side. And then we'll change the movement a little bit here. Next time you come down, let's put the left hand on the floor so they're both down. And then angle your torso over the right thigh so you kind of come out on the diagonal. Yeah. Just reach outward. You can go into the fingertips if that's acceptable for you and your body. And here and now you might feel the stretch a little bit lower on the left side, yeah? All right, bring yourself back into the center. Let's now have your blocks, those of you who have blocks, and go ahead and set them up on the highest height. And sit up really tall here in the torso and start to walk the blocks forward and pause when you feel just a little bit of resistance. Yeah. And then in this position, can you press the palms of the hands straight down? And without moving the blocks, try to pull them towards you. And as you do so, press the heels out, away from each other. Yeah, this one might give you a little stretch here in the outer hips. If it feels acceptable to wiggle the blocks a little further out, go ahead and do. And if not, don't worry about it. I should have said this. If you don't have blocks, you can just be on your fingertips on the floor. Let's one more time try to drag the hands back as you pull the chest forward and reach out through your heels. Oh, yeah. Great, friends. Let's come back up. Change the way the legs are crossed. So now you have the left one in front, and it'll feel funny after being on the other side for a little bit. It always does. Before we do the pattern that we did earlier, let's take a little cat-cow. So just flexion and extension in the spine, back and forth a couple rounds. Yeah. And then next time you're just right in the middle, let's pause there. Take the arms out and up and really lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. But right at the inner part of the shoulder, let that relax a little bit. Yes. Take one more breath in. And then on the exhale, go over to the left side, left hand on the floor, right arm overhead. And we'll stay here adding some rotation. So the next time you inhale, turn up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, turn it down towards the floor. Take that a few times. And again, if you want to try a bent elbow or a straight elbow or one of each, go ahead and do. Notice if one side is tighter than the other side. It really is. All right. And then the next time we turn down, let's stay. And be on the fingertips here, 2 hands to the floor, and go outward on the diagonal. So the torso is roughly over the left thigh. And see if you can just lengthen long, and now you'll get a little stretch on the left side, but a little lower down. I meant the right side. Because I get those two mixed up. From here, friends, let's come up a little bit. Those of you who have the blocks, same thing as before. Let's go up high and start to crawl the blocks forward just until you feel a little resistance, not max capacity quite yet. And then in this position, use your hands, press straight down on the blocks and try to pull the blocks towards you as you move the chest forward. Reach out through the heels. Ah, yeah. Have a little more in you can wiggle forward again, and if not, just stay right where you are. Now I know we all could do this without the blocks, but the blocks, they help prevent a collapse in a way, so that's why I'm having us do that for the moment. When you're done, we'll come back to center, the blocks aside, and let's stretch the legs out long in front of you. Come out of this position. Yeah. Gentle, and then if it feels good to move the ankles around, go ahead and do that. Wiggle the legs around to the toes. Great. And then from here, friends, let's turn over. We'll meet in all fours, hands and knees position. Feel free to put a blanket under the knees if the floor feels kind of hard for you. And now as we arrive here in our all fours position, for the moment, just start to move your spine any which way. And that could be a slow movement, a quick movement. Just check out what's going on there in the spine. Then we'll do a little variation of cat-cow here. So pause, just coming back to neutral. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, round the back and press the rib cage a little bit over to the right. So it's cat on the side. And then on the inhale, come back down through the center. Lift the head and the tailbone. And as you exhale, go the other side. So you lift the ribs up and over to the left. And inhale back to center. So take that one a few times. Now feel free to keep doing this a few more rounds, or if you'd like to change it into a circle, this can be, the breath can be anything here. From one side, instead of coming down, you'll go up and then go to the other side and down. So it makes a bit of a circle. Those of you who are taking the circle option, let's change and do a few times the other direction. A little mobility here through the, really through the whole torso, especially side body. And then we'll take a little break. Let's go back into child's pose. If you need to take the knees wider apart, you can. Hips back towards the heels. Let's go into the fingertips for a second. Spider fingers. And without moving your hands, try to scrunch up the mat so the center of the palm and the wrists lift when you do that. Yeah, and then we'll set the hands down. Keep them forward, but not max capacity forward. And feel what happens in the neck and in the shoulder blades when the hands push towards the front of the mat. And then feel how it's different when they pull towards your knees. And do a few of those back and forth, little push and pull. And you'll feel some residual movement in the hips and in the spine. We're going to make a different circular pattern here. So the next time you're pulling, pause, bend the elbows a little bit and lift the hips and pull so much until you come forward and up. Go ahead, straighten the arms. And then let's round the back in a cat pose. As you shift back, give a little light push forward with the hands. Once you come down, bend the elbows. They can touch the floor or not. Let's do the pull, so coming forward and up. And then we do the push to round the back and go back. And take that a few more times. Some of you might like it better with the toes tucked under. If you want to try that, you can. Yeah. Great, and then the next time we go back to child's pose, let's meet there and everybody have the toes tucked under for this version. Once you arrive there, scooch the knees back a little bit so you're more tucked at the toe hinge, right at the ball of the foot. And let's do the push again. So the hands push down and forward, and that might give the toes a little squash. You feel that? All right, slide the hands a little further forward, press into the floor, and let's create just neutral, not push or pull. Round the back up to cat pose. Let the toes lengthen back. Let the chest come forward. The spine will kind of unravel. And then we'll bend the elbows slowly from the bottom to the top to lower down. Yes, landing on the belly. Once you're here, let's keep the hands in place. Lift the chest a little bit, just a little bit. And one shoulder does a roll and the other shoulder does a roll. And we go back and forth a couple of times. I call this one the slither cobra. Yeah, nice shoulders, nice shoulders. Let's pause. And then we'll stay in this position with the hands where they are. And let's create the pull effect. So hands don't move, but try to pull them to the feet. As you come forward, you'll lift a little, but not too high. Lower yourself down, relax. Do that 2 more times. So as we come up, we create the pull. Try to lengthen as you come up and down. And last one, we pull as we lift. Stay here. Change the pull to a push, just straight down into the floor. Go back to child's pose, toes tuck under. Lift the knees off the floor, but keep them really bent. And then try to press the mat forward as your hips move back, growing long, long, long through the side body. And then slowly stretch out the legs. And if it feels good here to do one leg at a time, you can pedal. Yeah. And if you feel a little stuck, feel free to shorten your stance a bit if you need to. All right, and then stay in your down dog. Let's go widen your feet. So feet about as wide as the mat or even wider. Bend the knees and walk your hands to the back and just prop up so the forearms are on the thighs. We're in this squat sort of position. From here, friends, let's do the pull effect. So the forearms pull back as the chest pulls forward. Tone a little through the belly. And without moving your legs, press the upper thighs wider apart. And keep that as we come all the way up. Let's inhale to lift. And exhale just to bring the arms down. Yes. Stay in your position, soften your, yeah, my legs. And then we're gonna take a little standing slither asana, which isn't anything specific. It's not even a real pose, but we're just moving in all different ways. The spine, the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the pelvis. If I had all the bones, I'd point them out, but we'll wait for another time. All right, let's pause here. I'll mirror you for this bit. So we start with the feet just as wide as they are. Take the arms overhead and grab a hold of the left forearm. Pull up, left forearm, sorry, pull up and over to the right. Side bend. Lift the left heel off the floor. And then very gently go a little further. See how lifting the heel gives you a little more space? Now in slow motion, set the heel back down. Oh, yeah. Now, this might be enough. If you want a little bit more, bend the knees slightly and just very small amount, let the back kind of round in the side bend. Yeah, it's meant to feel good. It's possible to overdo it. Come back to center. Let's change to the other side. So we pull up and over. Stay there, lift the right heel, and then gently pull over just a little bit extra. Yeah, can you stay over that far as the heel slowly sinks back down? If you want to do it, a little bend in the knees, a little bit of rounding in the back, gentle, gentle. Yes, and then on the inhale, let's come back to center. Release the arms. And just give the fingers a little wiggle. You can do the shoulders, a little rotation in and out a couple of times. Okay. So we've already created a little bit of length in here. I also want to create a little strength in here. Let me show you what this will entail. And you might need to put some padding down. So just watch for a second. We'll be on the belly. One arm will come forward. The other hand will be like in a cobra position. And we'll lift the legs. We'll press into the floor. With the legs off the floor, we'll roll over to one side. We'll balance on the side. Look, Mom, no hands. And then the hand comes back down and we'll control the transition back to the belly. Yeah, it's easy to just, but we want to control the transition down. Are you so excited? It's really fun, yeah. So you might want to have a blanket there. There's a kind of bony spot on the side that can be aggravated for some of us. So feel free to have a blanket there. Yeah. And then let's go ahead and start standing. We'll get there all together. So be at the back of the mat in your mountain pose. Feet can touch or have space. Root down through the soles of the feet. Let's take the arms up. We'll stay here for a little bit. Like we did sitting. Oh, there's something up there that you're really reaching for. Keep the reach, but then let the front ribs kind of drop down a little bit. Let the inner part of the shoulder relax a little bit. Yeah, take one more breath in. And then on the exhale down, we come forward fold. Halfway up, lengthen it out. On the way down, walk the hands forward, and if you've got a blanket, just walk the hands over it. We'll meet in plank pose, and we won't stay for this round, just as a transition. From here, lower yourself all the way down to the belly. Now, I'm not going to say right and left, because those of you at home, just whatever side you can see. Let's take one arm straight ahead on the floor. The other hand, elbow bend, hand to the floor. Yeah. Now from here, friends, a little bit. Can you tone the belly? Which means when you lift the legs, they're not going to be able to lift too high. Whatever elbow is bent, press that hand into the floor and slowly roll over onto the side of the straight arm. Yeah, keep the legs a little lifted. Once you get there, flex the feet. Let the feet come a teensy bit forward. Yeah, and if you wish, the bent elbow, maybe you lift. Maybe you lift up to the ceiling. Maybe you lift up by your head. Maybe you say, no, I'm going to keep the hand down, but I could lift a finger. Yeah, that could work. Let's put the hand down. Keep the legs up. Point through the toes. Now here, this for some of us, this is the hard part. Go down slowly. Control the descent. Yeah. Even though when you land, you keep the feet off the floor just a little bit. Gorgeous. My friends in the room, you look great. I can't see you at home, but I bet it was magnificent. Let's go 2 more times on the same side. So press down, slowly roll. Once you're there, flex the feet, let the feet pull a teensy bit forward. Yeah, and then if you wish, you could lift the bottom arm. Anywhere you want it is fine. Up overhead, up to the ceiling. Arm comes back down. We go slowly. Point the toes. Control the descent. Yeah. Yes, yogi. Sometimes I offer a prize for the last one, but then people cheat and they just don't move. They just stay. Let's go last time on this side. Press down and take your roll. Excellent. Then once you're in position, we're going to change it a little bit. Lift the top leg a little bit higher. Yeah. And then if you want to also lift the arm, you can. Any way you want it is fine. Starfish. And then the hand comes back down, the feet come back together, but they're not touching the floor. Control the transition back down to the belly. We're going to take a little break before we change sides. You guys look great. Once you have landed, let the legs relax. Let's fold the hands, let the head relax. Give the legs a little jiggle, just a little back and forth. Yeah. And then let's bend the knees. Give the feet a little swish from side to side a couple of times. Just remember what side you did. I'm going to do a little something and then we'll come back. Let's put the legs back down. Head into your downward facing dog pose. Go ahead and just get there. And then take a notice. Like draw a line down the midline of the body and see if the right side and the left side feels any different from what we just did. And then from here, friends, let's shift forward to plank pose. That's inhale. And on the exhale, go back and up to downward dog. We'll do that a few times, and if it's not a great idea, you could do knees down, forward like this, and then back kind of halfway to child's pose. So you choose. Couple more rounds. Yes. Next time we come forward, we'll come all the way down to the belly, preparing for side 2. And for my friends at home or even in the room, I have my back to you on this side. So let's have the new side, one arm straight, one elbow bent, lengthen the legs, create a little tone through the belly, lift the belly away from the floor, and then lift the legs, and they're not going to go too high. You'll press into the bent arm side, slowly roll until you've landed. Like feet are off the floor, you'll flex the feet, pull the legs teensy bit forward. If the bottom arm wants to come up, I meant the top arm, you could. Anything you want. And then we'll place the hand on the floor. Point the toes. Can you control the transition back to the belly? One side might be easier than the other. All right. My new students, you guys are rocking it. With such control, let's do the other, let's do it again. So once you're down, press into the bent elbow, roll yourself over, back to the side again. We'll flex the feet once you get there. Pull the legs a little forward. Maybe you lift the top arm, maybe you don't. And then the hand comes back down. We go slowly, slowly back down. The feet stay off the floor the whole time. I love this one because it gets the side and the back and the front too. We get all around the core here. Nice job. Nice job. Our last one with the add on the leg lift. So press into the floor. Over we come. Once you get there, flex the feet, pull them a little forward. Let the top leg lift if that's available. And maybe the arm lifts too. Oh. Yeah, this one's harder, isn't it? All right. Put the hand down, put the feet back together, but they're still off the floor. Point through the toes, control the transition, back down we come. Marvelous. Marvelous. So when you're done, relax. Let's make a little pillow for your forehead. We'll go straight into the windshield wipers. So the knees bend and the legs can swish back and forth a couple of times. All right, and then let's put the feet back down. Press yourself into downward facing dog. Just take a moment to arrive. And check it out. Notice if anything has changed in your down dog position. Let's once again go to the back of the mat. So bend up the knees and walk the hands back. You can separate the feet if you need to. Press down to rise up. Inhale all the way up we come. And exhale, just bring the arms down. Now you guys are gonna stay at the back of the mat. If you have a blanket, move it out of the way. And I'm gonna face you for a second, just so I can mirror you, but then I'll turn around. Stand like you're on a tightrope with the right foot in front of the left foot. And if that's not working out in your body, you can have a little space right to left, but see if you can have a kind of narrow stance. Yeah, bend the knees slightly. And it's a little bit of a balancing act. Can you shift between the front foot and the back foot? Back and forth. And now try to land when your weight's even, right between the two. Press down through the feet, lengthen the legs. Let's take the arms overhead and grab a hold of the left forearm. You'll pull up and take a slight side bend over to the right. What? Who knew it would be so hard with the feet in this position? The next pose will be different. Stay on the side, but separate the arms. Shift forward and take the left foot out to the side, and you're kind of in this diagonal line. Yeah. Okay, when the left foot steps down, bring it in front of the right. So now we're on the second side. You can bring the arms down. Same thing as before, slight bend in the knees. Shift a little forward and back a couple of times. Oh, yeah. I find this tightrope position harder than the one leg sideways position. Anybody else? Yeah. You're like, no, yeah. All right, pause. Press down into the floor, straighten out the legs, try to have the weight even between the two. Up come your arms. We'll go the other direction, pull up and over to the left. Sit. And then you'll stay a bit on the left, separate the hands, shift forward, step the right leg off the floor out to the side, and here we are on the diagonal. Yeah. Okay, and when you step the foot down, doesn't matter which one is in front. Let's put the arms down and reset, actually come to the back of the mat and be in your tightrope position with one foot in front of the other. Doesn't matter which. Now here's where it gets a little bit dicey. Can you stay in this position and close your eyes? And if the answer is no, that's okay. Maybe just kind of squint a little bit or maybe not at all. Maybe just keep normal vision. Now, those of you with your eyes closed or even not, see if you can use your feet to figure out where you are. We're going to walk forward, heel, toe, toe, heel, tightrope walker style. Arms can wave around as much as you need. I'm doing it too, so if you want to laugh, you can just look at me. Now the good news is we're on a yoga mat, so there's a limited amount of space. When your toes feel the end of the mat, that's when we're done. Oh no, I keep thinking I'm there, but almost there. Okay. And then once you do get there, open the eyes and look down and see if you're still in the middle of the mat or if you went somewhere else. Yeah, I was pretty good this time. Sometimes I'm not. Let's go backwards. Oh, it's easier. It's easier. So close the eyes, or if that's too much, don't worry about it. See if you can. Oh no, I said it was easier. Now I'm falling all over the place. You can wave the arms around as much as you need. If you do get scared, just open the eyes. No big deal. And then once you feel the end, just check it out. See if you're in the middle or not. No.
I can't walk straight with my eyes open.
Even with the eyes open, that would be hard. All right, let's release. wiggle it out a little bit. Yeah.
Shockingly difficult.
It's so difficult, but I promise if you do it a couple of times, it does get easier. Like anything else, if it's new, it'll be harder, and then if you've done it a little practice, it gets easier.
I don't know how drunks do it on the side of the road.
Jill says she doesn't know how the drunk folks do it. Maybe they practice. I don't know. I shouldn't joke about that. But all right, guys, let's actually now come to the front of the mat. You can just walk there and have your blocks set up if you have them. And we'll be in our mountain pose. You can have the feet touching or keep a little space, up to you. Root down through the legs. Just one inhale, up come the arms. One exhale, down we go. Forward fold. Take a half lift. That's an inhale. Exhale down, hands to the floor or to your blocks. Let's reach the right leg back, coming into a lunge position. And we'll stay here for a second. Yeah. Now, with your hands, don't actually move the blocks, but try to pull them to the back of the mat and pull the chest forward so you can elongate and also get a little activation right here, the muscles kind of on the side. Yeah. And then back off of the pull, but do it a few times. Let's inhale, find the pull, and exhale, back off. Then again, inhale, pull, and back it off. Now, one more time we pull, let's add on, turn the back heel down to the floor, and notice if the left hip is swinging wide. Can you draw the outer hip back, turn your chest open, and stretch the right arm up towards the ceiling? Yeah. Now, if you're feeling a little squashed in here, if you need more height, you can put the forearm onto the thigh instead. Let's take the right arm overhead on the diagonal. Look down towards the floor. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the right elbow, look up towards the ceiling. Create a little squeeze there on the side. And on the inhale, look at the floor, reach the arm. Do this a few more times. So the exhale is when we pull and look up. And the inhale is when we lengthen and look down. Great. Let's pause next time you're in the exhale position. Just breathe though. Stay with that elbow. Press into the left heel. Let's come all the way up here, straighten both legs, lengthen both arms. And then we'll take another little pattern here. On the inhale, bend the front knee. Take kind of side angle with no arms. And then on the inhale, straighten the leg and reverse the arm position. Yeah, so exhale, we bend and come over. Inhale, we lengthen and reverse. Let's go one more time down. One more time up. And now on the way down, bring the arms all the way back down to the floor or to the blocks. Lift the back heel. And then take a few times to bend and straighten the front knee. Little hamstring stretch. Yes, yogis. All right, let's pause at the knee bend. Move the blocks out of the way. And bring the hands to the floor. We're going to plank pose. If anybody needs to do it on the knees or do it all fours instead of plank, do that. But we're gonna kind of tweak our plank a little bit. Yeah, can you come forward slightly with the shoulders? Yes, that's it. Now everybody, just a teensy bit, let the chest sink towards the floor, just a little. And now move the chest forward, draw the shoulder blades down the back, press into the floor and lift. Yes, good job. Good job. Let's put the knees down. Come all the way down to the belly, let the belly touch. Stretch the arms back to the hands to the floor. And we'll do a little wrist stretch here. Make a fist with the hands, not too tight. And then bend at the wrist so the back of the hand peels up off the floor. You get a little stretch through the forearm. Great, let's lengthen the fingers, wiggle them out. Lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor so the shoulder blades move closer together. And then lift the arms, lift the legs. Shalabhasana. We're going to reset, hands come right under the shoulders. Go back to downward facing dog. And then from your downward facing dog, let's head to the front of the mat, feet to the hands. Any way you want to get there is fine. Just the halfway lift. On the way down, grab your blocks, left leg steps backward and lunge on the second side. And from your position here, just like before, don't move your hands, but try to pull them back as the chest pulls forward. Yeah, and then back off. Do that a few times. Pull the blocks back, pull the chest forward. Yes, and back off. One more time, pull. Now from here, we'll turn the back heel down to the floor. Draw the outer right hip towards the back of the mat. Up we come, left arm lifts. Now, if you're feeling a little squashed in, you could go higher on the block or bring right forearm to thigh, and sometimes it's different on the second side. Wherever you are is fine. Let's take the arm overhead, look towards the floor. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the elbow and turn the look towards the ceiling. So the elbow bends in kind of to the side. Yeah. Inhale, reach it forward, look down. Exhale, bend the elbow and look up. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, it's a reach. And exhale, it's a bend. And then on this last one, friends, we're going to hold the bent elbow position. Don't hold the breath. Press into the front leg. Let's bring yourself up. Lengthen out both legs. Lengthen out both arms. Inhale here. On the exhale, let's take side angle with no arms. So the arms, one sweeps down, one sweeps up. And then on the inhale, straighten the front leg and reverse the arch. Right arm comes up, left arm comes just in front of you. Yeah, do that a few times. Exhale, it's down. Inhale, it's up. A little bit of a dance. Now you don't have the arms as a support system anymore. Can you use the core instead to hold you? On the next one here, we'll come all the way down. Hands to the floor, bend the front knee, spin the back heel up. Take a couple times to bend and straighten the front leg, just to stretch it out a little bit. Yes, yogis. And then I think we'd better do one more plank pose after that. Yeah? So it feels like, no, move the blocks out of the way. So that's necessary. I think it's always a good idea. So here we are in plank. I'm going to say the same things as before. Tiny little sink of the chest. And then pull the chest forward, move the shoulder blades down the back. Then press into the floor and let the whole torso rise a little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah, great. Don't move your hands. Try to pull the hands in towards the center line. Yeah, good. And then we'll put the knees down, take a little break, all the way down to the belly we come. Make a pillow for your forehead, just rest. Yeah, add in a little wobble if that feels good to you. Right. Now we'll take again, it's a little back bend series. So reset, we're going to keep the forearms on the floor and have the elbows just a little ahead of the shoulders. You might have to adjust if you're off the mat here. But go ahead and let the hands stack. Let yourself sink down a bit. And then before we come up, try to pull forearms to the chest, chest forward, and then rise up out of that. Keep that, create a little tone through the low belly. And then let yourself do that a few times. Press down, pull, lift the belly, and down. Last one, press down, pull, lift the belly. Yeah. And down. Take another little break, little wiggle, wobble, whatever feels good. Great, friends. And then let's head back again into downward facing dog. Go ahead and just get there. From your down dog, we'll meet in a standing forward fold any way you want to arrive. Root down through the legs, inhale all the way up, nice length here. And then release the arms. Yeah. All right, so next we'll just take a symmetrical shape. It'll be a wide forward fold that looks kind of like this. If you need blocks or any kind of furniture for under your hands, go ahead and set up what you think you want. And before we go down, let's all start in the up position. We'll go together. Yeah. So separate your legs and look. Take a teensy bend in the knees, and we want the knees to track forward. Sometimes we need to adjust the rotation of the legs to make that happen. Let's go ahead and keep a small bend in the knees. Hands on the hips. And think of hinging from the hip crease when we come down, not from the waist. Yeah, so come on down, hinging from the hip crease. Hands will land right underneath the shoulders on blocks or on flat hands or on fingertips, wherever you are is fine. Now before we straighten out the legs, at the upper thighs, press apart. Feel what that does elsewhere in the body. And then sometimes we overdo and we end up kind of bowing out at the ankle. Can you hug the ankle in just enough so that you have an even footprint? And then slowly start to go straighter in the legs. And without moving the legs, walk the arms forward. Remember when we were sitting and we had the blocks? No blocks this time, or some of you might have them. If you do have them, just bring them with. But can you grow long through the side body without moving the hips forward? And if you're able to go onto your fingertips, do so. If that's not working out, don't worry about it. And can you create just a little bit of a tone through the low belly so you don't collapse? Yeah, all right. My friends in the studio look fantastic. Friends at home, yeah, you look great too. Let's come in a little bit with the arms and walk both arms towards the right, and it doesn't matter how far to the right, just a little bit. Stay like that and bend the left knee, the other leg. Oh, yeah. Let the pelvis shift back. Yep, you got it. You're doing it. Are you feeling that in the inner thigh? Yeah, that was my plan. Let's come back up. Walk the arms to the left. Doesn't matter how far. Let the right knee bend and let the pelvis shift back. Doesn't matter how far. Oh yeah, this side's a different story for me. Okay, friends, we come back to center. One more position here. Let's just for a quickie go forward again with the arms to maintain the length. And then if anybody wants to just stay here, that's fine. If you want to instead walk the arms back, keeping the fingers facing forward, your body will determine how far you go. You could be on fingertips if you need. And you bend the elbows even just a little bit and pull the elbows in towards each other. And now try that pull action. So try to pull the hands back so the collarbones widen. And that's enough. Let's reset. Hands just right underneath the shoulders. Heel toe your feet in a little bit, like a step or two. Bend the knees, and before you come up to stand, widen the upper thighs, tone the belly, hands come to the hips, and then hinge your way up to center. Oh, yeah. Nice job, guys. Let's bring the feet back in, and we'll take hula hoop asana. It's just oh, nice jump there. Just a circle. And then go the other direction. Okay, friends. And then from here, we'll come down. I'm going to have us do a couple of bridge poses with the emphasis on lengthening here. So let's come down onto your back. And we'll do a few things before we even lift the hips. And Mary, if you want to do just the beginning part of it, this should be fine for you. So let's come down onto your back, knees bent, and take a robot arm position, which is not a real thing, but the elbows are, it is in my class. So, and we do it so often, I think it's real now. So the forearms are parallel to each other, and then press the backs of the arms into the floor in such a way that you can kind of wiggle the shoulder blades under you, so the shoulder blades create a little shelf for the upper back. And then keep the position, but just relax the effort. And let's do a few little pulses here. So as the inhale happens, press the backs of the arms into the floor, and you'll feel a little lift. And on the exhale, just let the effort go. Let's do that again. Press and release. Now, if you want to just keep doing this, this is fine. If you want to add on, press, keep the pressure in the upper arms, and then also press into the heels and let the hips lift, but not super duper high, just kind of medium. Let the pelvis come down a teensy bit, and think of in the back of the pelvis, the top of the pelvis, and the back lower ribs can you make as much space as you can between those two, the back of the pelvis and the back lower ribs. Then keep the space as you come up a little higher. Yeah. Keep the upper arms pressing down into the floor. And if anyone feels a little jammed, if you need more space, you could lift the heels if you need to. Think of length through the side body. If the heels are up, go ahead and keep them up. Everybody, we're going to come down. You can untuck the shoulders, come down. And then if the heels are up, let them come down once you've landed. Yeah, those looked good. We're going to go again, kind of the same way, but I might say slightly different things. Let's start with our robot arms. Press down, tuck the shoulder blades onto the back. Keep the backs of the arms pressing. Press at first into the heels to come up, just kind of medium, not too high. Let the pelvis drop a little bit and try to create this space. The pelvis and the rib cage moves away from each other. Keep the space as you go up any amount higher, and maybe lift the heels if you feel like that is useful. Keep the backs of the arms pressing down. Keep the sides of the waist long. And then on the way down, go ahead and come out, untuck the shoulders, release. Yeah, you guys, those are magnificent. Once you're down on the floor, let's take the feet a little bit wider apart and just let the knees do an easy windshield wiper, side to side. You'll get a little bit of a twist in the lower spine. If you're lucky, you'll get a little bit of a butt massage too. All right, let's pause. Next time the knees go right. And if it feels good to pull the arms up by your head, you can. Just kind of a little reach. And then we'll switch, come up and over to the left. Same thing, add in the little reach with the arms if that feels good to you. All right, and then let's return to center here and reset so the feet are not quite so wide. Just come in a little bit. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And you can just stay like this if you wish, or you could pick up the left leg and bring it in. Figure 4 stretch. Yeah, you can hold behind the thigh in front of the shin, or you can even hold from the top if you want. Now, a little bit of adjustment here. Let's back off from max stretch. We're coming back though, don't worry. Untuck the pelvis. Try to move the tailbone. It's not going to go to the floor, but towards the floor. Try to keep that in the pelvis as you pull the left leg in again without flattening the low back. And then let both legs rock to the left like an inch. Not far. Not far at all. Now within this framework, if you want to add in a tiny little side to side little wiggle, that might feel good. And add in anything else, little head turn, that might feel good. And then just very gently here, we'll undo, set the foot down, set the other foot down. Let's take a little something in between. Take the hands on the thighs and just press straight ahead, hands into the legs. I like to do something symmetrical in between sides. Let's pause and then switch to second side. So the left one crosses over. Go ahead and bring the right leg in, take any handhold or even don't. If you want to just keep the foot on the floor, that's fine. Can you untuck the pelvis? Move both legs a teensy bit right, just like an inch, but not too far. And then can you come in again without flattening the lower back? And maybe you can, maybe you can't. Just try. If you want to add in a little bit of a wiggle, you can. Any kind of smaller movements, feel free. And then to get out, let's undo, 2 feet on the floor, 2 hands on the thighs, and just, again, press straight ahead, hands into the legs. All right. And then from here, let's do just a little bit of work for the abdominal core. Don't worry, it won't be too much. So we'll stay on your back, and one leg at a time, just come up into a tabletop position so the shins are parallel to the floor. Yeah. And then we'll stay in this position, and can you do a tiny little cat-cow, kind of a tuck-untuck of the pelvis? A little bit back and forth. And then when you find a position where the belly is engaged, but you're not actively flattening the low back, keep that position. And if you want a little more, you can stretch the arms just straight out in front of you, or slight bend in the elbows with wide arms. Either of those will give you a little bit more. And if you still want a little bit more, keep the position in the pelvis and the low back as is, and let the legs go maybe an inch further forward. That'll increase the load. And if it starts to aggravate the lower back, do the opposite and bring the knees in a little closer. That's it. Now from here, can you keep the arms in whatever position they're in? Try not to rock the whole body. Let the right leg go a little bit to the right without anything else coming with. And it might not go very far. Let's come back to center. And then same thing on the left. So the left leg will go out to the left without anything else coming with. I have a lot more range for me with this on the left, and the right was like an inch, but the left gave a little more space. Come back to center, and then you'll bring the knees in, take a little break, just a little bit of movement. Yeah, see, that wasn't so bad. Let's put the left leg long on the floor and take a twist, bringing the right leg over to the left. Any amount is fine. You can take any handhold on the leg. Something to think about here, to create more space around the hips. Think about the right sitting bone pulling down towards the left foot. And in the hip joint, think about the right ball and socket. Can you press the ball out away from the midline, away from the pubic bone? That would give you just a little extra room in the hips. Get back to center and change sides. So send the right leg long, bend the left knee, bring it in. And then you choose how far you're going to go. Bring the left leg to the right. And once you're set here, and it's fine, the left hip, depending on how far you go, it'll come off the floor. Move the left sitting bone down towards the right foot. And the left ball and socket joint press out away from the midline. Just a little bit. And it's not going to go anywhere. It's just a kind of just a little bit of engagement in other ways. Oh, then from here, friends, let's come back to center. Last little something here. You choose. You can bring both knees in. You could take something kind of like a happy baby. You could do another thigh press. Pick something that's the same from right to left, and just whatever you need to do for a moment before we come into Shavasana. All right, friends, when you're ready, time has come. So you'll come into, some of you will just be flat, yeah? For me, that never feels so good. So I usually like to either keep the knees bent or put some sort of prop under the thighs. So you can make a little, either a blanket roll or use the blocks if you need. I'm gonna turn off some of these lights. I should have done that before, sorry guys. You're not blinded. And just let yourself arrive here into whatever feels comfortable, whatever feels right. So what's the picture behind the thighs? Good. Oh, here, just lay down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you are indeed. Yeah. I usually sit for this part because it's easier to speak. As you started to settle here into this final shape, take a little check-in. How does your body feel? How does your breath move through your body? And you relax the muscles in your face. All around your eyes. And you relax through the sides of the body. Imagine the back of your body is becoming a little wider, a little more spread out. Relax the belly. And deepen your breath a little bit. Start to create a small movement anywhere in the body. Maybe the fingers, the toes, head. It feels good to stretch. You can reach the arms. You lengthen, stretch the legs. Yeah, whatever it might be, whatever works. And then eventually here, you'll bend the knees and roll over to one side. Take your time from there to come up to sit, lean in a seated position. Hands at heart center. Yeah, you can sit any way you like. Think your body, your whole body, everything that it's able to do. Thank yourself for showing up. Namaste.